It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
Hey, fun show Wednesday. If you missed any of it, here come the highlights, including what can you just not relate to? It's so far out of your wheelhouse. When people start talking about it, you mentally check out. Some very interesting responses to this question. Coming up, let's go.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo!
Bingo! All right, time for listener bingo. This is where Kat and I are each looking for a great story from you. So hurry up and call us if you're somebody listening who
has a lot of cousins. There is now, I guess, a quote shortage of cousins out there.
You guys ever think about how us millennials are really the last generation of growing up with a ton of cousins and aunts and uncles? Our moms did not have the number of babies as our grandmas did. And I know there's always exception to the rule. But for the most part, our kids, our millennial kids, they're not growing up with the amount of cousins that we did.
How many first cousins do you have?
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Really?
8 maybe.
I have 20.
Oof.
And then what are their kids to me?
They're your third cousins then.
Why would they be my third?
If it's your first cousin, then it's your second cousin.
Okay, because then I have 26 of them. So we're actually growing cousins for them, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, I get it. But you guys are going to be under the national average for amount of kids. Like the population is on the decline.
I only have one, but that's actually normal now. People are only having like one kid because they like money and they like sanity. So I want to know who has the most cousins out there. You can top mine. I'm at 20.
Okay, I'm looking for anyone listening who has been married 3 or more times. I've got a message kind of in a group chat of a bunch of college buddies that this guy that we went to school with he's going to get married this summer, so he's inviting everybody to it. It's his 4th wedding.
No way.
And I mean, this is the type of people I went to school with. Immediately on the group chat, dude, what's your problem? You got to be kidding me. Those are the kind of responses. Everybody was like, why? Why a 4th time?
Well, because it's a 4th different female. You know, maybe this is her first time.
Why not just cohabitate? After 3,
you're
clearly not the marriage type, right? At what point do you go, it's probably me, not you?
Yeah. That's a lot of weddings. Like, I didn't even want to plan my first wedding, my only wedding.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo!
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo!
Bingo! All right, so I was on the hunt for anyone that's been married 3 times or more. I have a friend who's getting married for the 4th time this summer, and Kat was on the hunt for anyone who's got a whole bunch of cousins. And as soon as you said that, boom, everybody started calling about the cousins. Hi, Philip. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. How many cousins do you think you got?
Man, I have over 200 just on my dad's side.
Oh, my God.
What?
Okay, so no, like legitimately, these are your first cousins. These are your aunts and uncles having babies.
Well, if it's my first cousin, it's probably 100.
Okay, so you're counting their kids.
So how many brothers and sisters for your old man?
Well, my dad, he has 10, but he has 10 siblings, and each of them have at least 8 kids. But my grandpa, which is my dad's dad, he has 27 brothers and sisters.
Oh, my God.
Stop. I
That's
can't even.
crazy.
Hold on. I got to compartmentalize this. Your grandfather is one of 28 children?
Yes, sir.
And do you all live in the same region? Because then you have some questions to ask anybody that you're interested in, because the odds of you being related to them.
I never had outside friends beside my family until I was 15.
You didn't need any. You had built-in friends.
Was your grandma like, and this is not a joke at all, but was she like in a wheelchair?
No.
I mean, pushing out 28 kids, that's a full-time job for the majority of your life.
And you can't possibly parent that many. That's the Duggar style, where the older one parents the next one down, parents the next one down. Like, so that's a lot of work.
The big question here, Philip, is with all of these first cousins, were any of them really actually super hot? And if they weren't your first cousin, you'd have taken a run at it?
Oh, no, I'm not. Hell no. I mean, heck no. I look the best out of everybody. So.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Now, when you go to a family reunion, you guys got to rent out like a Major League Baseball stadium or something?
Yeah, like we take up a whole hotel.
Unbelievable. And where are you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm from Minneapolis, North Minneapolis.
Okay, and you guys are you all in this area? Like we can probably, like everybody is drivable?
I have cousins in every state in the United except Hawaii.
Wow.
Good
that is
God,
so
man.
impressive.
This is great. Could you name most of them if you had to, though? I'm not asking you to, but could you?
Yeah. I don't even answer my phone on my birthday.
Oh, I wouldn't either. That would be obnoxious.
Hey, you're the best, man. Don't be a stranger. Have a great morning. All right.
It's funny.
Jocelyn, I'm glad you called the show, but after hearing Philip having, 200-ish cousins, I'm guessing you're not going to come close to that, are you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought my number was impressive, but then I heard you take him first in the call. I'm like, oh, no, I'm done. I'm done.
How many you got?
No, I think I have, I don't know the exact number. The last time I stopped counting was 52, but I think there's 56 first cousins.
Holy balls.
My dad has 8 siblings, and they're a very, religious Catholic family that grew up in, mid-Minnesota. And, yeah, the largest number of kids in one family for one of his siblings is 15 for one. So there's a total of 56. I want to say 56 total on his side. But then the funny thing, on my mom's side, I only have one cousin. On my mom's side. So it's very, very skewed.
Yeah. You just can't do that anymore. You can't have that many kids anymore. It's not feasible, and live a good life because it's so expensive.
On the one side that's so big, were they the janky relatives that would always invite you to their kids' first and second birthday parties so that they wouldn't have to buy their kids toys and you'd buy them all?
Right. I mean, they didn't really throw birthday parties, honestly, because if you think about it, you're celebrating twice a month, and then plus you got holidays on top of it. So if anything, they did a random family dinner, and they just threw in, oh yeah, it's so-and-so's birthday, so I guess we're technically celebrating that, but they didn't expect any gifts or anything, because, they were Catholic, so they just, they didn't have the materialistic type of, life. I wouldn't call them Amish, but they were, they didn't do a lot of watching TV. They were raised on a farm and that kind of stuff.
That rhythm method really seems to work well to curb the population.
Yeah,
hey,
right?
Last question. Got same one as I asked Philip. Any of those cousins super hot and you'd have made a run at it if they weren't blood relatives? Easy for me to say.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
There's one or two.
Nope. Okay, maybe one.
Yeah.
Looking older,
all right.
older boy cousins that are 10 years older than me, but that are good looking, but no way.
There's a lot of days today, including National Banana Day today.
Bananas, go, bananas, there you go. Bananas,
But
go.
We want to see the Savannah Bananas so badly.
it's a goal for me too.
Yeah.
You have really no idea. Obviously they're clowns, right? But they are so good. As far as baseball players go,
right?
It's kind of like the equivalent now of the Harlem Globetrotters, right? Some of these guys may have played pro ball or had a chance to play pro ball, but now they're finding it's not so much pressure. It's just straight up entertainment versus the sport first.
And maybe they do like the lighter feel of that side of a sport that they love. But when I watch the Harlem Globetrotters, there was one that he was half the size of a normal NBA player, but he sank what would be considered 10 feet from a normal NBA three-pointer. I mean, one after the other, 15 in a row.
So good.
And then you have normal ones that can't even hit their free throws. And I'm like, what happened,
I think a lot of times they played at a junior college and never had that big chance, or maybe they weren't great collegiate players.
Yeah.
And so they didn't get that chance and then they developed or whatever the deal is. But it is a big banana day.
Listen to this audio because this is a situation that I find personally myself in maybe once or twice a day. And I do entertain it because I don't want somebody to feel bad, but I feel like this is how you would react.
I go to get a smoothie, and there was this annoying woman ahead of me, and she says to no one, I just needed to pick me up because I got to go home and finish packing. We don't say anything. She's like, yeah, got to get all packed for my trip. The young woman and I exchange a brief look, nope, we are not going to ask you about your trip because we know that it's going to be annoying. So she says, packing is hard. The woman behind the counter and I are just like, stay strong. And then the woman goes, Hawaii. The young woman and I were just like, nope, same page.
Oh, my God. This is every day. I'm always just in a position where somebody is like, well, and then I get to hear about it all.
I feed this. If this was happening to me, if I'm at Starbucks, there's somebody in front of me, they're clearly not with anyone else, and they go, just needed to pick me up. Right away, I would go, why? How's your day going?
Yeah.
And then they go, packing is hard. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, what are you all packing? Like, I like feeding that. There's a little bit of psychosis there that I dig into.
Well, they don't know that you're being sarcastic. They think that you
I could care less.
So, but that's kind of a win-win. So you're having fun playing a game, and they think that you're appreciating their company.
See? I'm not that bad of a guy after all.
No, you're not. No, you're not. But yeah, I just and the worst pharmacy lines, the worst. Nobody's in a good mood because you're either
you don't ask people what's wrong with them? I do it all the time.
I sit there and I'm on my phone and I'm just trying to not make contact. And then, if the line is going too slow, they're like, oh my God.
My daughter's a junior in college, and the last time I had to go to CVS, she had asked, hey, Dad, since you drive by, can you pick up my prescription and drop it off? And I said, yeah, no problem. And I'm standing there waiting for it. And the guy in front of me was like, and I go, man, are you okay? Is everything all right? And he's like, yeah, I just got to pick up like 5. He goes 5 prescriptions. I go, oh my God, what's going on? What's wrong with you? And like he unloaded everything. He had fibromyalgia. Okay. He had rheumatoid arthritis. He had something else. And he's like, and they just can't get my medication right.
Oh.
So maybe time to switch doctors? Been with the same doctor for 35 years. I go, time to jump ship. Yeah. And you could tell he had never even thought of it. Hadn't crossed his mind. But if you're going to talk about what your ailment is in line at the pharmacy, you clearly need the attention. I'm going to give it to you.
I remember when I was in line and we were in front of all these magazines, and there was an older man in front of me, and he only had a couple of things, but the woman in front of him had a whole cartload. So we had a good amount of time to talk, and it was Reba on the cover, and she was like holding a bunch of food that she had made, and it was like Reba's cookbook, cook and eat just like Reba. And he was like, I don't want to eat like her. And I go, okay, well. And then he goes, I don't even like pie. And I said, well, maybe there are other recipes in there if you have a sweet tooth. I hate sweets. And I mean, it was just, sometimes people crave that interaction with humans, and I don't mind giving it back, but I find myself in that situation all
where
the
people
time.
are just mumbling stuff. And I love feeding
going to Hawaii.
Speaking of needing attention, look at line 3 here.
Good morning, JJ.
Richard, I was hoping you'd call.
You were?
Dude, I miss talking to you guys.
You just called yesterday.
I just talked to you yesterday.
I know, but I needed to bother you again because I'm bored. It's 6 a.m. and my coffee's running low, and I'll have to make a new pot, and I'm in a good mood.
So what does your day look like every day? I was curious about that.
Boring. Oh. It's just boring, non-tedious emailing.
And your emailing is for your business?
Yeah, just a couple of them, yeah.
All right, and that seems to be taking off for you?
Somewhat. We're making a lot of cases go through. It's tedious. I'm not directly
always grinding.
involved in
That's what I like about you, is always grinding. Do you think if you pumped up the energy a little bit, you might get some more response?
Well, JJ, I love your show and can't go without it every day when I am awake in the morning.
So do you think if you pumped up the energy a little bit, you'd get more response?
I do, but I need a specialized app to get what I want out of, like, my podcast.
But if you think you pumped up the energy a little bit more, you'd get a better response?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. All right. That's what I was looking for.
Finally got the answer you wanted.
All right, Richard, as always, good chat. Thanks for eating up some of our time here on the show.
All right. Stay safe.
Okay, we'll do that.
All right.
Bye.
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 Okay, so the other day, on Mondays, we have our meeting, our station meeting. Excuse me. And what we do is each of us go around and we say one thing that we are happy about or that's good in our life. And we got to our promo guy, Brendan. And he's like, well, I guess it's good that my Amazon package that I've been waiting for arrived. And then I said, well, what was it? And he said it was a big fuzzy dice holder for all of his Dungeons and Dragons dice.
I would have
The
never
die
pegged him
dice.
for a D&D guy.
You wouldn't?
No.
Oh. Well, it was like, and then he kept talking about it as if we were all like, oh, yeah, cool. Like, we know exactly what you're talking about. But it was one of those moments where, like, most of the time I can fake it or have some questions to get me more involved in the conversation. I could not relate to one damn thing he said. And I was like, wow, this is.
And I had a small relation to it because one of my college jobs was I worked at a game store.
Yeah.
And we'd have to sell die to people. They'd come in, they'd be like, do you have a 13-sided die? And I'd be like, yeah, I sure do.
Look at the
Right.
voice you give
But
them
it
because they're
was.
nerds.
Listen, not all of them are nerds. Not all of them. But the guys that came into our store,
Yeah.
their nose was pinched because their glasses were too small. And they'd be like, do you have a 13-sided die? And I'd be like, no. Or we do. You got to check over there. And we
Yeah.
had all these little containers. And they were like the most stolen thing, by the way.
Were they?
D&D guys are all straight up thieves.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not trying to lay a blanket statement around here, but
you
all
are.
D&D guys are massive kleptomaniacs. But they'd come in and they'd want the 13 or the 6 or they don't know, 6 are normal. But then they want the 3 or the 4, and then they want the 9. It seemed like all the odd numbers were a really, really big deal, but they all wanted all of these kind of die. And I'd be like,
It really bothered you? All the
it
die that
annoyed
were going out the
it
door?
annoyed the hell out of me.
Anyway, when he was saying that, I was like, geez, I literally cannot relate to one thing that has come out of his mouth in the last 3 minutes. But I want to know, is there something out there that if somebody were to start talking to you about it, you just can't relate?
You couldn't even fake relating to it.
You can't, yeah. And you just, I don't know. There are certain, forget it. I almost gave away who it was, but there's one person in particular that anytime she speaks, I cannot relate to anything she's saying.
It's so
not
far
that-
out of your bounds.
No, it's not. It's just like out of my interest level. I just can't relate. And it's a very foreign concept because I enjoy talking to people. And especially if it's about things that I don't know about, like I want to learn about them.
Sure.
Tell me more. But yeah, there are certain things that I just can't relate to. So what is it? Somebody starts talking to you about something today and you just can't relate.
Good morning, guys. We were in our big station meeting on Monday, and one of the guys that works kind of behind the scenes does a lot of the stuff when we're on the streets. His name is Brendan, and we always do a good news segment to start. What's good in your week? We haven't met for a week. What's good? Everybody kind of goes around. Kat's like, oh, I got to watch my son play basketball this weekend, and we get to Brendan, and he goes, my package arrived. I've been waiting
almost
for.
gave him a nerd voice.
He goes,
My Amazon package arrived. And it was a dice holder for his D&D game that he plays.
all his different dices is.
Yeah.
And Kat was like, I can't relate to one word this guy is saying.
I was like, but you did.
Well,
you had like a longer conversation about it.
I had an experience with this because I worked at a place where we sold all the different sided die for a lot of Dungeons and Dragons players. And so we started talking about just things you simply can't relate to. Would you like to start? Or is that just it? You
that
simply
was
can't.
it.
So
Well,
I put together a list.
And then I just the person that I was talking about who like all she can talk about is dogs, you know, and I can't relate. I've had dogs, but no longer an interest of mine, you know. I don't know if it was ever an interest of mine, but
They were just there.
they were just there. They were our pets. I loved them, but that was the extent. And it's just something I can't relate to.
I put together a quick list of things that I just simply can't relate on at all. Real Housewives, anything. I don't know where they all live. I don't know how they find all these people. Kat seems infatuated by it, and I can't get a grip on it. I can't relate to anything Kardashians because for the life of me, I still don't understand how they got so rich, and I'm just sitting here doing a dopey radio show.
How have you and I lasted so long when you can't identify with anything
I can't
I'm interested in?
relate to anything political.
Yeah.
I don't have an interest in it enough. It's never going to fluff my feathers enough where I'm going to care, especially argue on the internet with somebody about it. And then the other one that really, really, really I can't relate to is people who mouth kiss their pets.
Yes.
Like when you let a dog lick your face. Like, it's one thing on the cheek, or every once in a while, like, I'll have my head down, I'll be rolling on the ground with our dog, and it'll lick me on the top of my bald head.
Yeah.
Even that, for me, is gross. But if my dog ever stuck its tongue in my mouth,
that'd be it.
We would have Addison sandwiches later on that day. So I can't relate with any of that. Lucas, what can't you relate with, man?
Farmers.
You can't relate.
Growing up in a small town, everybody's a farmer or lives in the country and does farm work, and working at a company that majority of them are farmers or old farmers.
Yeah.
So they're all talking about all their old farming days, and you're like, I'm just a city boy. I can't even talk with you about this.
Well, it's funny because I grew up in a farm town, but never grew up on a farm, so I never had that experience. And all my friends, we all were, into video games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as everybody else is out doing chores, you were playing Super Mario Kart.
Pretty much.
Obviously our world can't go round without people that wake up at the buck crack of dawn and tend to the fields. But is there anything that you found to relate to the farm kids at school? Or was it just like they stuck with their crowd, you stuck with your gaming crowd?
For the most part, yeah, we stuck to our own crowds. A lot of the farm kids were into the sports, and
Yep.
I just got done with school, and I went straight home and turned on my game console and started playing.
Now, do you feel like you're missing something in your life, or are you okay not being able to relate to these guys?
The idea of driving a tractor around is kind of cool, but on the other hand, I'd rather just take my skateboard and cruise around town.
There's a lot of poop involved in the farming, too. Are you into that?
Not really.
Okay.
More of a smell, but...
I wanted to get Denise on our show real quick because we had connected earlier, and she just wanted to get our thoughts on this whole thing. So you want to tell us what's up from the beginning here?
I was never the cool aunt. My sister was.
Okay.
And recently, I think she took it way too far. So my 19-year-old niece, who's the daughter of my other sister, Ashley, she went over to my sister's house, and she gave her a pot brownie.
Okay.
A brownie with pot in it.
Right, we know what the pot brownie is. Thank you.
So she gave her an edible, and you're not digging it.
No, because, okay, I understand that teenagers experiment too much.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have an adult saying that's okay. Like, what is she going to think it's fine to just take edibles every day?
I think that would be appealing. I did have a cousin that was a little bit older than me that could buy me alcohol whenever I wanted. And, shame to say, yes, maybe I partook when I was not legally 21. But this might be appealing for your 19-year-old niece. She might really like the access to all this stuff. Maybe have the conversation with your sister and just say, not your other sister, but the one that gave her the brownie, and say, you can't be doing this. You don't want to contribute.
I'm really tempted to just tell her mother, because I know she wouldn't be happy about this, and it's her kid.
And I'm really tempted to be like, stay in your lane. But what do you do here? You're a tattler.
I would talk to my sister, my other, not the mom of my niece, but my other sister, and be like, what are you thinking? That is not your place to introduce it. If she's going to organically be exposed to it, probably going to happen in college, probably going to happen somewhere else. But do you want to be the one to do it? I don't think so. I know there's always like that cool aunt, cool uncle that'll take you out and get you wrecked for your 21st. That's different. It's like you're legal. And I know it's legal now, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right in my gut. So I got to go with my gut.
Pajamas at work are being celebrated today.
Good.
So both of us are like, let's go.
The one day I wear jeans.
Oh, really? You dressed up for the show today.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go on the hunt real quick for anyone that gets to wear their jammies at work. So my wife gets to kind of do a hybrid thing. And there are days that I'll come home from the show and she completely is just jammied up still. She hasn't gotten out of sleepwear at all. It's her, the dog laying next to her, just tapping away at the laptop, coffee in front of her.
What a
just
life.
Living that best life. So I'm on the hunt for anyone who either gets to wear jammies at work or you're really just at work, at home, in your pajamas. Will you call us real quick? I want to kind of dig into this a little bit better and get into your mind. You get to wear jammies for work. Do you really like it, or do you find that you're becoming a human slob? I mean, do you really think that you've crossed that line and maybe not ready to re-enter society as a normal dressing human?
The difference between me and that is that I will get out of what I slept in, your farm pajamas.
Right.
I shower, I put perfume on, and then I put more pajamas on. So they're fresh pajamas, okay? But I feel like if you work from home, you probably still smell like fart.
And we've always been blessed with that kind of a job where rarely does anyone care what we wear. I want to bring Beth on the show because you got jammy fever, right?
I wear them everywhere. I even wore pajama pants to a funeral a few weeks ago.
Oh,
I
no.
made sure they were black, but they were definitely fuzzy.
Okay.
I had multiple people tell me they wish they would have thought of it. I wear pajamas to the store, to the bank, to the kids' school.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I've wore them to work before.
Sure.
They're just comfortable.
The funeral thing now, I'm trying to figure out how
They're
I
only
feel about
saying
that.
it's like them being nice because when they got in the car, they said, "Can you believe that she wore fuzzy pajama pants?"
Why do you have to
this
dress
funeral?"
up for a funeral?
Because it's the right thing to do. It shows respect.
You know what I'm going to do once I'm dead? I'm going to judge the hell out of everyone from above that didn't wear a suit and a tie to my funeral.
Yeah.
No.
I know you will.
That should be the one place you can wear pajamas.
There's a time and a place for everything. Like my wedding reception, did my cousin have to show up in her Duke sweatshirt? Probably not, but she did.
Well, if you're a big fan, you got to support the team.
Yeah.
Ashley, a couple that wore jammies where?
Their wedding. Got married in their pajamas.
That was the
The
theme.
footy pajamas that were characters.
Sure.
I don't know the story. I didn't go to the wedding. I saw photos of the wedding.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they chose to do it, but they got married on 420. So that might have something
Yeah,
to do with
420
it.
will always do it. 420 and the footy jammies go together. Are you somebody that really just gets to wear your pajamas all day long? And how's that working? I would find it to be difficult to get out of a lax mood. You know what I mean? Like, it would be difficult to kind of just think work.
Yeah.
If you're always in your jammies, but maybe you're pulling it off. If so, we want to hear from you. Good morning to everyone except for Jerome, who had texted in. I really don't think Kat knows anything about what she's talking about.
When?
So I saw this yesterday, and it was right after your last round of paparazzi.
Uh-huh.
And when I was texting back and forth with him, he said, you just read what you see, and you really don't know much about
That's quite a
what's
blanketed
going on.
statement. I'd like to know how plugged in Jerome is. Okay.
I thought, well, let's take this as an opportunity for you to prove yourself. I'm going to give you a couple of clues as to people that are in the entertainment business that you talk about every morning. And based on these couple of clues, you got to figure out which celebrity we're talking about. All right, so dial in, focus. He is so handsome. He's a movie guy. He's actually a really good singer. He's bald. You got nothing yet?
Can we say The Rock?
The Rock is right. Wow. You can answer as soon as you know him.
Okay.
She's a singer.
All right.
She's a blondie. Very tiny. She has a song about that coffee that your aunt drinks.
All right. Sabrina Carpenter.
Yes, well done. He's an actor. Been acting since the 80s, Kat. He's got another moving company when he's running.
Movie company or moving?
They call it a moving company. Like when you're really running a lot, he's like got his own moving company.
Okay.
Not technically that he's moving houses. I'll give you one last one.
Never heard of that phrase. Okay.
He's short.
Michael J. Fox. Moving company. What do you?
Like, you've never heard of people that, like, when you're really hauling ass? Like, dude, that guy's got a moving company. You've never heard that?
Never. You made that up.
No.
I've never heard that.
I was looking for Tom Cruise on that one.
Oh, okay.
I got two more for you.
All right.
This one will be easy for you. She's on TV. I think she's on in the morning always.
Okay.
She's a talk show host.
Mm-hmm. There are several.
She just went to space.
Gail King. See, the first 3 or 4 clues you give me could be anybody.
I don't think you're going to get this one.
Okay.
This is our last one. He's a singer. He's actually a great guitarist as well. Currently doing a big ass tour. Tattoos everywhere.
Adam Levine? He's a guitarist? Who's a guitarist?
No. Last clue. He did that country song with that guy.
Oh, Jelly Roll?
No.
Who? He has tattoos everywhere.
Lives in Utah.
Oh, Post Malone.
Post Malone. All right, so I'll give you credit.
I didn't know he played guitar.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude, he's awesome. So I'll get, what are you, about 4 out of 5 on that one?
Those were so obscure. And if you tried to prove Jerome right,
I think I
you
just
didn't.
did. I think, Jerome, you're onto something. I don't think she knows what the hell she's talking about.